Dharma Studio. Today we're going to look at Sirsasana A, or headstand. Now in all my years of teaching, I've seen two really common approaches to inversions in general. One is to really approach them with a lot of fear, so much so that you have an aversion to inversions and never dare to turn your world upside down. The second approach is an approach from an excitable, kind of eager side, and usually there's a lot of momentum and a few crashes and burns in that process. So this Hi, I'm Jill from the Dharma Studio. Today we're going to look at Sirsasana A, or headstand. Now in all my years of teaching, I see two really common approaches for students that are just getting into aversions. The first approach is really a fear-based approach, and there's so much fear oftentimes that an aversion to inversion develops, and the student never dares to even flip their world upside down. The second approach kind of comes from an excitable, like eager, I can't wait to do it approach, and so much so that there's a lot of impatience, there's a lot of momentum, and there's a lot of crashes. So I was kind of that person coming into it. So hopefully this video will give you a process, a learning process on how to get into a really strong headstand. Now, it's not meant to get you into a headstand in however minutes this video is. It's meant to give you the tools to work on them. It may take you weeks, it may take you months, it may take you years, but just go at your own pace. So let's go. So stage one is what I consider the stage that develops the strength and the flexibility that's required to support yourself in a headstand. Now you might be thinking, how can I get the strength for my head? First off, you have to acknowledge that in a headstand, in this particular one, you're not supporting your body with your head, but you're indeed supporting the body with the arms and strength of the shoulders. So we're going to come into stage one, and it's actually dolphin pose. The forearms are going to be parallel. The wrists and the elbows are going to be shoulder width distance apart. Your palms are going to be spreading, and the tips of your index fingers are going to be reaching forward. And then from here, you'll pick the hips up, you'll pick the knees up, press the chest towards the thighs, and drop the head between the arms. And really press the forearms down and forward to get that shifting of the hips. And take a few breaths here. And as a matter of fact, breathe as many breaths as you can, really squeezing the muscles around the bones, lifting the shoulders away from the base of the skull. So you'll stay here, again, maybe it's 5 breaths, maybe it's 30, and then you'll come down, you'll take a moment to rest, and then you're going to repeat that stage 2 more times. So you lift into dolphin by pressing the forearms down and forward and lifting the shoulder blades away, and then squeezing the elbows lightly towards one another. It's going to create some strength and the muscles that are required to lift you safely and sustain you in a headstand or Sirsasana A. So again, you do that stage 3 times, you rest in between, and you take the stage in as many breaths as you possibly can. You may stay in this stage for weeks or months. Second stage, once stage 1 becomes very comfortable and easy, we actually start to pour the concrete or create the foundation of Sirsasana A, and it's going to start to look more like a headstand. So the first thing that's different is we're going to interlace our fingers, and you're going to hold your palms apart so much so that it's like you're holding a tennis ball. That bottom pinky that's facing you in this case, and the one facing me, you're going to draw it down and just underneath the top pinky. So when we lay our hands on the floor, we're not crunching or hurting. So you're going to squeeze the heels of the hands in, maybe 2 to 3 inches, and you're going to shoot the thumbs up. Now this is the hand posture, right? We want to make sure that the wrist stays really strong when we start to lay the foundation. The distance between the elbows really matters, and I'm going to show you from the front on. So from this stage 1, you'll pick up the hands and you're going to cross the forearms and walk the elbows in enough that you can get a good grip of your arm bones with your hands. And then you'll keep your elbows there, just uncross and find that lacing again, sucking the bottom pinky in and lifting the thumbs up. Keep the space between the heels of the hands. Your hands are going to come down and you're going to press evenly from the pinkies to the elbows. And you're going to press the forearms down and you're going to lift your bottom up. So same as before, so you'll tuck the toes, lift the knees, press the chest towards the thighs, push the forearms down and forward and lift the shoulders, and again, hold this posture for as many breaths as you can, rest, and then repeat 2 more times. So this is kind of stage 2A, I'll call it. So forearms down and forward, shoulders back, belly in, and then when you're ready to break, you'll come down, you'll rest, and you'll repeat 2 more times. So okay, stage 1. Building the strength and flexibility. Stage 2, still doing that, but now morphing more into the traditional shape, visible shape of Sirsasana A. Now stage 2B is where we're actually going to place the crown of the head right behind the heel of these hands. And we're going to take that same dolphin shape, but we're going to press the forearms down so strongly that we're going to lift our head just a smidge off the floor. When I mean a smidge, I mean like a millimeter. Like I could slip a piece of paper between your head and the floor. And that's going to fire up the arms, and it's going to, again, give us the ability to strengthen the areas that we need strong in order to support and sustain a headstand. So, this is what it's going to look like. So this is 2B. Go through stage A, stage 1, stage 2, crown the head to the floor, that's where that soft spot was. Lift the heads of the arm bones, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Now push the forearms down to lift the head up just a little bit. Push the forearms down, pull the belly in, breathe. And again, you're going to do this 3 times again. And you're going to take yourself maximum number of breaths here. When the desire is great and the fatigue starts to set in, you'll drop the knees down and break, and then rest, and then do that 2 more times. So that's kind of stage 2. It's building that foundation, keeping the shoulders nice and strong, now starting to plant the crown of the head right behind the heels of the hands, but making sure that we keep a lift. And our arms are really supporting this. Now, stage 3, again, you only come to stage 3 if stage 2 gets pretty easy and you're ready to move on and your body is giving you a green light. Stage 2 is where we try to get the hips over the shoulders. So this is where you're really going to want to be super focused, making sure that you're not slouching in your neck. You're also going to step your feet together. So instead of having 2, you're going to have 1 big leg. The reason why we do this is that if you start to separate your legs, it's going to get really, really tempting to kick up into your headstand, and you don't want to do that. You want to press up into a headstand. We don't use momentum to get into a headstand. So this is what it's going to look like. Again, go through the stages really quickly so you know that there's still a green light. Stage 1, stage 2, crown the head down, butt up, knees up. Stage 3, slowly press down to the forearms. Step your feet together, walk in, go as teeny tiny as you can. Pull the belly in, lift the head slightly by pressing down to the forearms, lift the shoulders. You're going to hold and breathe. Squeeze the feet together, pull the belly in, pull the belly in. You're going to hold here as many breaths as you can. And when the desire is great, you'll walk it back out, drop the knees, take a rest, and you're going to repeat that 2 more times. So you're walking the hips in. If you notice, my hips started to go over my shoulders, but I didn't get desperate and collapse my neck. I actually countered that by pressing the forearms deeply into the earth, okay? Keeping space all the way around my neck. So you might stay in stage 3 for several months, just working on that strength. It's really powerful to be there. But once your body gives you that green light and you're ready to go, the next stage is to lift both feet at the same time, keeping a bend in the knees, and bringing the heels towards the bottom. And you're going to sustain this stage for the same amount of breath. So as long as you can, you'll take a break and you'll repeat that 2 more times. It's going to be tempting to press your feet straight up to the sky. Don't do it. Don't skip this step. It's really, really important. You're learning how to balance here. So, watch me. Hands down, cross, go through the stages mindfully, be really aware, lift slightly through the head, step the feet together, walk them in, take an inhale, bend the knees and suck the heels towards your bottom. Now your knees aren't going to go way back. As a matter of fact, just glancing towards my nose, I should probably be able to see my kneecaps. I'm going to push down through the forearms, squeeze my legs together, pull the belly in. I'm going to hold and breathe as long as I can, and then when the desire is great, I'm going to come back down very slowly, take a rest, and repeat 2 more times. So again, you might be in this stage for a long period of time. When this stage starts to get easy, the next and final stage of this asana or posture is to press the feet and the knees straight up. I like to imagine that there's a cinder block on my soles of my feet and I'm pressing up. Legs stay squeezing together and really energized. So, if you're ready, join me. Otherwise, just look and be inspired, because one day this too will be you, if you do it appropriately. Crossing, finding your stages, lifting your bottom. Again, notice the body the whole time. At any point, you can back out, right? At any point, you can just take it down a notch. But if life is good, you'll walk in,
my feet separated. You don't want to do that. Don't do what I did. Squeeze them together. With an inhale, draw the heels up. Draw the knees back. Now flex your feet. Press up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze like there's a cinder block. Press down through the forearms to lift up through the feet. Lift the shoulders. You're going to hold and breathe as many breaths as you can. Squeeze your feet together. Lift the shoulders. Breathe. Maybe smile. It's good to be here. And then at some point, you're going to want to come back down. Start to reverse it. Bending the knees. Reach the feet for the floor. Nice and slow. Drop the knees. Drop the hips.
Come on up and repeat 2 more times. Now, there's an additional stage, and this one requires hamstring flexibility. It's super duper hard for me. Getting into my hamstrings are pretty tricky and challenging, and it's a journey in itself. Well worth it because it starts to add the finishing touches on a lot of these postures. So again, only if these other stages were super easy and you're looking for that one next thing, would you consider this. So, same skills, but now I'm just going to keep my legs straight and press up with straight legs. So, going through all the stages nice and slow, keeping my breath coming, lifting the legs, squeezing my feet together, rolling over the tips of the toes, pressing down into my forearms, squeezing my legs together to reach up. I'm squeezing together and squeezing into the midline, pressing the forearms down. The head is slightly off, the belly's in, and then when it's time to come down, take your bottom back as you lower your legs into view. Keep squeezing together. Spread your toes, spread your toes, spread your toes, and then you'll rest. And you'll come down. And those are the stages. But again, this video is not meant to take you into a headstand in 10 minutes or however long this video is. It's meant to show you the progression, what can be a really healthy way to get into a headstand. So if you take the time and if you work with your body's unique set of limits and capabilities, and you really have an honest and dedicated practice, sooner than you think, you're going to progress and move up through the stages. And you're going to enjoy the progression, and you're not going to have any setbacks or injuries. So again, always practice in a way that puts a smile on your face, that honors the body that you stepped onto the mat with. And if you do, it's going to keep you practicing, it's going to keep you on the mat, and it's going to keep you happy. So thanks for watching. Namaste.